never walk this road, then you can talk shit. Gambling with my life, but I refuse to go for nonsense. This the life I chose, this all I know, ain't many options. About to tell the truth, I make the rules like I'm Fleece Johnson.
Hey, what's up? This is Big Lee with Hustler Spirit. What's up, Fleece?
What's up, big brother?
Man, you having a good day today?
Man, fabulous, man.
Tomorrow's,
You know, I just got through seeing Malcolm.
Marcus. Yeah, you just did an interview.
What's your show?
Beyond the Bars.
Beyond the Bars.
Yeah, Beyond the Bars. Give him a look, man. Shout out to him.
For sure. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. You want to say anything to the mothers for the month? Or what you would have said to your mother?
Yeah, I won't say this, though. I'm just going to say a Bible verse, right? Make these mamas, soon to be, I want to be, to know. There's a verse in the Bible, Jesus said it. A day is coming when the woman that can't have a child is going to be called blessed. Imagine that. You're going to be called blessed because you can't have a child. You know why? Because the world's going to be that bad, worse than it is now. Only thing I got to say to mamas now is that I think about my own mama, all the stuff I took her through. You know, I growed up kind of rugged, and I took my mama through a lot, a whole lot. And so she dead now. She died before I got out of prison. I did 40 years. I was raising her from a child. She didn't get a chance to see her baby grow. But I gotta say this to my mama. If you can hear me, mama, hey, you know, I'm not as what you would want me to be, but I ain't like I used to be.
Tell them how it feels to go to prison, not really thinking about one day your mother's gonna be gone or your loved one's gonna be gone.
Well,
and that happens when you're in there.
It happens. It's gonna happen to a lot of people in my 40 years. I've seen it happen to them when they lost their mama. You know, it's hard. It's something we not prepared for. You know, and you know, because sometimes prison is a turning point in our life, right? sometimes that's why we make that decision to change. You know, that's the turning point. Either stay the same or to change, right? And so your parents come to man, all the things you took them through. You know, as you get older, you get wiser. And my mama didn't live to see me become successful and different. You know.
She didn't see you change.
But she knew I never did. Can you understand that?
No, explain it.
It's like a dark sentence. Like, my mama knew all her life what type of child I was. And she knew all my life that the child that I pretended to be was not who I was. So she died knowing that I was always who I was.
That sounds like some prison shit there.
Listen, man, it's real simple. If I know you a good child, I know you a good child. You have a good seed, you're a good child, you're wonderful. Something doesn't happen. Well, now you acting like a bad child. But I know it's not you. I know you are pretending to be something that really years later you're going to regret being, and you're going to end up knowing that there's nothing better than just being who you was born to be. You know, that good child, let it out, right? And she knew that goodness was already in me. She died knowing that.
But she didn't know.
She didn't die seeing it.
But she didn't know why it disappeared.
No.
Because
she didn't want to know because my mama was she's not gonna sit there and discuss certain personal things with kids, with her children. I don't know why, she just won't.
Did you try to take it to her and she didn't want to discuss it, or you just knew it?
Yeah, I did.
You tried to tell her you was molested?
No, I didn't.
What did you say to her?
I didn't never tell her that. Never. Because I don't know, man. You know, your man think different because at the time something like that had happened, you be ashamed. Without realizing you ain't the one that should be ashamed, right? The person that did it should be ashamed, right? That you feeling ashamed for something you didn't even have nothing to do with, right? But that feeling ashamed usually shuts you down, right? Well, you don't want to talk. You don't know how people gonna look at you, what they gonna say about you, and you done already came down on yourself. And the person that did it is walking around with none of this, you know, done almost destroy your life. Like I said, it's a situation that I learned later in life about evil people that will enter your life as a friend and leave it as an enemy, right? With your life just shredded, right? Almost beyond repair. You got to have a lot of mental strength. You got to reset your belief system, what you believe in. See, there's a lot of things, it's all based on your belief, how you program your mind, right? Because you got people that you can call a nigga, a white dude, they'll wave you off. Their belief system is set to where they know how to deal with that. Then you got some whose belief system set up, what he call me? Nah, I'm gonna kill him. And do it. I try to do it. Because they program. They set their mind to be programmed to believe this is what they gotta do. Just like you got some people that say, if he's a red, I ain't got nothing to say to him. I don't want to talk to him, I kill him. You got something to say, hold up, man. I ain't with all that, you know. And you got some people that everything is based on people's belief system. You know, like when they call me the booty warrior, ain't nobody out there thinking about investigating this. Is he actually there? Maybe we can go to the prison and talk to some of them inmates. Let's find out who he did something with. They didn't do it because there wasn't nothing to find. But they didn't understand where it came from. You got people just believe anything. Like
it came from an MSNBC Lock-Up Raw when you said booty's more important than water.
Yeah.
That's when it started.
Yeah, Donald Trump was sitting there with a thing on his head like the Pope. Everybody said, you see Donald Trump, what he did? Oh, boy. When they asked him about it, he said, somebody did it. Somebody posted a picture. The technology...
AI.
The technology is so... Now, they can make me look like I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And you'll look and you'll say it's him. And it's not even me. It's how they trick camera stuff, but I don't worry about that. Well, anyway, I am the booty man. Wire.
I know it gets kind of sensitive talking about that.
No, it ain't. I'm the booty warrior. I'm embracing it.
All right,
Booty seeker, booty lover, booty wanted.
You embracing it?
Yeah, I'm on booty support. Now, to the mothers out there, I'm going to say this. The booty man want to ask y'all. A lot of you mothers ain't got nobody.
What you mean ain't got nobody?
What do mothers give up on Mother's Day?
I'm not sure about that. It's the day for them, right? Do they have to give up anything?
But, yeah. I mean, you going to pay all that money. I mean, like, I going to give a girl, I'm paying almost $100 for some flowers, taking her out, all this stuff. And, yeah, she going to say thank you. I'm so grateful. And I'll be like this, you know. And she going to be like, what's wrong? You know, do I get anything besides a thank you?
It's not your day.
It's my day to shoot. When it comes to booty, it's my day, booty. Now, we can really, you know, celebrate that. But now, truthfully...
If she wants to, it's her day.
I know it. I'm just messing with your mamas out there, trying to rough your little fellas. But really, I want y'all to know I feel your pain, man. I know you mamas, man, they call this the days of sorrows. And that's what it is, the days where you're going to just see sorrows across all over the world, man. Things that make you sorrowful in the heart. Somebody done killed, did this, robbed, raped, this. It's so much crazy stuff going on. But I want your mamas to know, man, keep your head up. Keep hope alive, buddy. The living got a hope. As long as you got a hope, you got a time to make a difference.
Since it's going into Mother's Day, I got one more question I want to ask you about that. I don't think I've ever asked you. You had an opportunity when you first went in, they gave you 10 years. If you would have did what you were supposed to do, you would have got out and seen your mother. Do you ever reflect on that?
No. I stick to the facts. The facts was, and I ain't gonna lie, I would have did it probably better, worse.
You have no regrets about that?
No, none. I had to do what I had to do. I had to fight. I had to do all that. It just so happened they kept taking time on me. Time. But my focus was one thing, like the God told me. You can't win I'm not fighting to win.
I mean, right then, do you reflect? Do you look back on it and
No.
do you never like, man, I should have did what I was supposed to do.
I did what I was supposed to do.
Now you telling yourself that to justify what you did.
No, nothing I did was good. It was evil. It's no justification for it.
And you wouldn't have changed it.
No, I wouldn't have. And no, sir. It brought me through it. Any other try to divert any other way, I wouldn't have made it out of it. I would not have made it. First of all, when I went in prison, I told you the first day I was on the yard, I seen somebody I robbed on the street. And if I didn't take the battle to him, he would have brought it to me. I took it to him, caught him slipping. Case closed. He would have caught me slipping. I would not have made it out of prison being anything other than aggressive. It cost me more time and all that, but it saved my life too. And not only that, but I changed the whole penal system in Kentucky. Matter of fact, when they go to the academy, they train all the officers off of me, videos of me. When they come to our prison and new cadets, it's Fleece Johnson. And they always call me in to inspect them, the new recruits. And yeah, we was trained off of you. And then them guards will take me there and them wardens will say, Fleece Johnson knows which one of y'all gonna make it and which one ain't. And I've never been wrong on it. And they have them lined up and I get to choose that. I said, hi. She spoke. I said, you from Louisville, ain't you? You know, they train them not to even give out the address and shit, so it's a little trick thing I'm throwing at her. I said, you from Louisville, ain't you? She said, no, I'm not. She said, I'm from, what did she say, someplace. I said, she ain't gonna make it. She's not ready. You let people know about you. See, I tricked a lady like that once. She said her son and crazy about him. I said, why are you working here then? Thick and fine as you are, right? I said, if somebody was to take you right now, I said, ain't no way in the world you'll go through all that cost, for your son. She said, I could. She's mad, right? So, they tell them, keep all this. So I said, well, look, I'm going to just tell you now. I said, you already know me. I already showed y'all. I don't care about write-offs, going to the hole, being in the hole. I ain't even giving me time. I mean, I ain't never getting out. I said, because I like you, I said, the only thing I want to do, I said, slick right now. I'm not going to stick it in your booty. You going to let me slick lay. You going to pull them down. Now, if you refuse to do that, I'm just going and do it. Then you got to explain all this stuff.
Now, you know what you just said?
Yeah.
That's why people look at it like you graped.
I don't care how they look at it. It's a mental thing, right? It's a difference between putting a gun or grabbing somebody or holding somebody or something like that.
But out here in the free world, that's what it would be.
Man, let me tell you about these idiots out here in the free world. That's why I'm going to call them. You know, when we in prison, we hear so much about society talking about us in prison. Now, when we get out of prison and see your society, your nutty-ass society out here, with all this crazy stuff going on out here, and y'all got your nerves talking about anybody out here. The stuff y'all be doing out here.
You get offended when I say it.
Nah, I get offended because it ain't true. And I can tell you the bottom line. I stuck this thing, slick legs. You just take your legs and you cross them. You cross them like that. You cross them over. And he got his thing on. You cross your leg. That's a grip you so tight. That's tighter than anything you ever get, right? And her big thighs, I said, tighten your thighs up. I said, oh, God. I just done like that. And I did it. I said, thank you. And
So it didn't go in her. You just
no.
She just had you gripped in her thighs.
No, I told her I liked them. I'm gonna give I just want to see that booty bounce and all that shit. Nigga, when I come, that's it. It don't matter if it's in her, out of her. Just let me shoot, man. And so, when you're in prison, that's what it's all about. I mean, what else can you do in there? I had everything. I had money.
And you didn't know you was getting
stores. No, I didn't even know none of that. I didn't even know I was going up for parole. I didn't already accept the fact that I never get out. So really, I don't care. I'm doing anything I want in here now. I'm living good. I'm in there eating barbecue deer meat, all this stuff. Man, them guards is bringing me everything. Home cooked, some of the best country meals you think of. Just so I wouldn't throw no duty on them and all that. So I'm controlling the prison, you know. And so they said, we got to get rid of him. Because at one point, they fired every guard in the hole. They said, we don't know who's bringing you this stuff, because they put me in a strip cell. And in this strip cell, there's nothing in the cell. No mattress, no nothing. But when the big shot came make his rounds, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, eating a candy bar, drinking a pie. I said, what's up, man? He said, I'll be damned. I said, okay. So they come in there to take that, and then on his way going back home again, he stopped by. I'm smoking a joint. I said, this is weed.
And he fired everybody because he didn't know who got it.
Man, he went to, he didn't do it right then and there. They went to the warden. It took a while because they didn't know who was bringing. They just got rid and brought a whole new crew in there. Guards that they handpicked it, they say, I bet he can't get nothing out of them. And they doing the same shit. The warden came through, inspected it on his own. I said, here he come. He said, hey, Fleece. I said, how you doing, warden? He said, I'm doing all right. How you doing? Trying to get, he said, can you move back? Let me look in your cell. I had everything on the side of the wall right here. I said, what are you looking for? He said, I want to just make sure my officers doing their job. I said, first of all, they're not your officers. They mans. And now they ain't doing their job. And I said, look at this shit. I made all this shit come out of the floor. I said, oh, man. I said, all these cigarettes and shit, I'm smoking like, I said, this is weed. I said, plus I got whiskey. Whiskey, man. And
you don't send him in there to take it from you?
Man, he was standing up there. They came and got me, you know, but after that, they came and got all of it. And then on one Christmas, I was passing money out. I said, here's one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give it to your wife. Well, I know it was a whole, I had about $100 worth of ones. And I'm just doing that. And I said, what other warden that? David Warden, come over here, sir. Merry Christmas. Tell your wife and them up. They said, this man is in a strip cell. Man, they was tore up. They say we don't know what to do with it, right? So I let them know I got guards. Y'all got guards. I got guards. You know, my guards gonna do what I tell them. That's why when I talked to the warden, he said, I want you to tell me who these guards are that is bringing you. I said, first of all, they my guards. And the same thing you asked me, I asked your guards. When I want to recruit them to come to my side. I talked to them the same way you talking to me. I said, so they sent me to another prison. So when I get there, same shit. You know, wherever they send me, right? They sent me down LaGrange, and that black guy, he made me so mad, man. I walked up the steps. I walked in the ring, and I was coming out, and he walks up. He said, what you doing in that wing? Give me your, I'm writing you. I said, man, I just had to check on something, man. He said, I'm writing you.
What was you checking on?
Somebody, man. I came to look for somebody.
Oh, okay.
And he took my name, he gonna write me out. He wanna be an asshole. I said, okay. So I said, you know what? Let me change his life. So I go in there's a window. I break the window, and it comes out in the shape of a butcher knife. So I wipe the red. I wouldn't see Billy Sloan. He's a serial killer. I told Billy said, don't do that, man. I said, man, I'm going to gut this son of a bitch. Let's make him send me back to Eddyville. Fuck this old bullshit down here. I stepped out of the cell. Here he come, get ready to make his rounds. I'm coming this way. He stopped. I guess he seen something in my ass, and I had my hand like his. Can you see my ass was just blazed with something I don't know. He stopped like that. I said, fuck it, he know. After I can, I tried to get that motherfucker against my, and look, I chased the fuck out of him. I'm talking about, man, it's a big piece of glass, shaped like a knife. I'm swinging that thing. This motherfucker, he's good. He was quick as a motherfucker. And he ran. So I said, oh, shit. So I went back in the room. I broke the knife down where you can't tell it was, like that. So here come all these guards running down. I seen them out the window, white shirts. Had some big wheels. Motherfucker came to thump. I said, how y'all doing, man? I said, I know y'all coming in. Man, this is crazy. He just turned around, they handcuffed me and shit. I said, I don't know what's wrong with him, I said, I ain't got nothing against that guard. I said, we get along real good. He said he was, something happened at home or something, and I was talking to him. He said, he's a liar. He don't like all that shit. So he's hollering. I said, look how he's talking right now. I said, look, if I did anything to you, will you let me know what it is? He said, they didn't know what to believe because I'm so calm and shit, right? And he's outrageous, right? So they say, just go back to your cell, right? They ain't gonna lock me up, right? Go back to your room. I went back to my room. Then I heard them organ and shit. And this motherfucker, nigga, swung and hit one of them guards. I don't know what they said to trigger that. They out there fighting now. I said, good. So I brought the handcuffs around in the front, broke the motherfuckers off of me, right? So I'm gonna tell them I threw them out the window. They gonna say, what the hell? I say the guard took them off from me. Said some guard, and he went that way. I don't know his name, so I got away with that, and so.
I got a question I want to ask you about.
Let me tell you one of the things I did one day. They had this dude on my wall. He's black, big mouth. I said, punk, you come out and say, I'm going to, it's on, all this. And he got you ain't know about security, he got the beating and stuff. So they come and took him out of his cell. No, the guard told him to stop beating. So I said, I hear it one more time, we're going to strip your cell. So when they left the wall, I started beating, boom, 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 boom. So I know they're going to blame him for it, right? So when they came back, I thought you told me. I said, oh, they scared of him. They said, we'll see. So they brought him out. So they had him up against the wall with the electric shield on his back, right? So Calvin already told the guard, if he makes any move, get it with the shield, right? I said, I'm talking to him, right? And they said, if he turned his head anything, all that. So he had a Quran in his cell, right? The guard did it real nice, set it down, right? I said, oh, you throw your Quran on the ground. He turned around. Soon as he turned, they hit him with about 2,000 volts, right? Can't run around his head. That's why I got this phrase that, and he was hollering, and he was acting. And Cal said this right there, I took his phrase from him. He said, he told the dude, he said, you shut that big elephant mouth, right? He just shut that big elephant mouth. And the dude said, yes, sir. And I said, yeah, I got him. But, that's what we go through now, man. I win in battles, man. Sometimes you gotta be crazy. You gotta be just as crazy to get through that shit. Yeah.
What color? What's the different color mean of the little uniforms they be wearing?
Oh,
the
look.
prisoners.
When the young, I'm gonna say, we had our own clothes at first till they brought the gangbangers in. The Crips, the Blood, and all that stuff. He wear red, they wear blue, they riots break out. So the guard said, you know what? Take all that, everybody's in khakis. General population wear khakis, you know, the yellows. If you're in a hole, you're gonna wear, the green, the yard wears the khakis, the brown khakis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, top and bottom. If you're in a hole, you get yellow, top and bottom. If you're on death row, you get red, top and bottom. If you're in PC, if you take your custody, you get green, top and bottom. If you work in the kitchen, you get kitchen whites, top and bottom. That's it.
If you work in the kitchen, you get white. What? You had a landscaping job in there, right?
Right.
Explain what are you landscaping?
People don't realize how big a prison is on the inside. We got a yard that is a loop. That's what I call walk the loop. We got a loop up here, and we got one down there in the back of big loop, where we got our basketball court here. We got a basketball court there. We got a basketball court, full court here. We got a handball court here. We got a handball court there. All that in this big area, man. It's big, huge. And then they got gates. Like now they put gates on all around the yard. So the PC inmates, when they go out to chow, they come down the steps and they lock the gate where the people in the yard can't get to them, but they can see them. Bitch ass nigga, what you doing? You know, all that old stuff. Yeah, you know you still owe me some money. Yeah, I'm gonna have somebody over there and whoop your ass, all that. They can still shout out. They see, hey, why don't you come on out here? Yeah, I'll take care of you. Now you around with me. Yeah, just go to your caseworker, have them put you on the move list. Now I'll be there to get you.
I'll be there to get you.
Yeah. You know, when they come out of PC, right? You know, if you're going to run with me, right? You knew on the yard, people got to know who you with, right? To give your respect, right? You know, like you see a boy or something up there. They say, damn, he's cute. Hey, what's your name? Who? Hey, because I was telling him, see, when I went in, I was a child, right? You didn't hear that part. I got to tell him her.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I never had a girl on the street, man. You know, I'm 14 in jail, 15, get ready to go to prison, turn 16. So, I don't know what it's like. So, the first person I come in was a boy. And you know, he was older than me, but I got him. So, I'm over gambling and shit, and big hand too. I mean, we got two motherfuckers they got over $1,000 on top. Motherfucker talking about I'm in. I'm all in. I'm like, ooh, hold up. He's all in. I'm a half man. I got to pay whoever wins. So here come that boy over to me. I said, yeah, baby. I said, can I sit in here? I said, yeah. Well, his voice wasn't like that. His voice was deep, but he was just cute. I used to tell him, stop talking. You know, goddamn, you know. Stop, don't talk, don't say shit, right? And this motherfucker, he's like, no, he talk deep, you know, like, can I sit down? I said, sit down, baby. I said, look, I said, right there, what you want me to know? He said, no, you need to know. So I'm like, man, I told these bitches shut up, right?
He's probably seen the video when you was talking about that. Have you seen it?
he said,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said, what is it? And the dudes across the table, they all got respect on me and shit, man. They hated that I'm even messing with this motherfucker, you know. They said, he said, I'm pregnant. I said, oh my God, are you serious? He said, yes. I said, you pregnant? He said, yeah. I said, oh my God, I'm a daddy. I actually believe I got him pregnant. Now the dudes that dude hit me. He said, hey, police, I know I got you beat, bro. But you know what? He messed the hand up. He said, hey, look, man, let me talk to you, man. I said, what's up, man? Man, I'm happy in the ball. He said, bro, that's a dude. I said, nigga, don't say nothing about my wife, bro. My kid, getting ready to have a kid. You niggas gonna hate me because I'm the only nigga in here got one, nigga. And so I asked to see the warden. So they took me in the warden's office and he said, you asked to see me? I said, yeah, warden. I said, look, I talked to everybody, so they told me to come talk to you, you know, about my kid. Would I get visitation rights? I'll be allowed to see him. Well, I don't know if it's a boy or girl. It might be twin. I don't know. But can I get your word? He said, Mr. Johnson, I got somebody for you to talk to. It was one of the psychiatrists, motherfuckers, right? He ain't gonna sit there and have me fight him in his office, right? Because I would follow him. So she come over and she said, hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing? She said, congratulations. I said, what? She said, you got a child on the way, don't you? I said, oh, God, thank you. Yes, I do. She said, are you sure? I said, yeah, why wouldn't I be sure? So she started breaking down all this and timing. Look, I don't want to hear all this shit, right? You know. And then the sissy they had to send him to another prison because he put something under his stomach that made his stomach all out like that. He came out. I went nuts. He said, no, don't touch me. You don't want to accept your baby. You listening to these motherfuckers tell you that. I said, let me hold my baby, man. I was nuts, bro. They finally got this shit out of my head. And when they did, it was at a time when they would sent him back, right? He said, I want him, Fleece. I said, go ahead, bro. He mopped it, man. Mopped him, right? And
Wait a minute, who mopped him?
one of my dudes, man.
Beat up your girlfriend?
That's my girlfriend, man. It's some old dirty ass nigga that had my head fucked up.
It was your girlfriend for
Nigga wasn't my girlfriend, nigga. These, nigga.
You thought you was having a baby. That was your girlfriend.
Fucking, yeah, at that time I did. I actually thought, because I ain't never been with a woman, right? And I thought, I said, are you serious? He said, yes. I'm like, oh, God. Hey, boy, I was so happy. And when he put that thing in his stomach, it got me right there.
All right, that's enough for that.
Look.
Hey,
I'm glad that I came out of prison. Now I'm just telling you what I went through. And for me to come out of there, having shaved all that stuff away, my mind is right, everything's strapped.
I wouldn't say it.
Well,
I wouldn't say it's completely right.
I ain't say completely right. I said it's strong enough, right?
Oh, okay.
I think I've been doing good.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I've been doing tremendous good. So I'm fine with that. I think I've been blessed.
I was asking you about the landscaping job because you told me that just like anything else.
Oh, let me finish that about the landscape. I took it to another, man, I just went deep somewhere else. Now the landscape, you know, when you talk about prison is in sections. We got one section where they do auto mechanics, big old warehouse building, welding, heating and air conditioning, sewing class. They got different big sections. Then they got a section for the landscapers where they got a big old field, like, you know, where they teach you how to plant. It's called botany. And they teach you how to plant and grow, and how to landscape it, where you make it neat and beautiful, and plant different things that keep things looking good, right? The grass growing, everything. And then they teach you how to grow food. And they have tomatoes, cabbage, beans, potatoes, different things out there they grow. Well, we got inmates. Try to grow some weed back out.
Where they get the seeds from?
The weed, it was weed, but it was that, what they call like imitation weed, like, what they call it,
Like spice or something?
no, hell no, boy. If it was spice, man, we would have made a killing, you know. I could sell a pack of cigarettes for $500.
What was they growing, man? They call weed. That's what I want to know.
It's a name for it. It's called, I ain't thought of the name yet, but it's a name for it. Whatever, man. They bust that old stuff, and see, that's what I used
How
to
they get caught?
I'm gonna tell you how they get caught.
All right.
When I sold weed, now I got people that I affiliate with, like in the engineering department. All them people that work in the guards and, you know, the engineers. They ain't guards, but they engineers. They just like guards, but they tell me shit. They say, "Hey, Fleece." I said, "What?" Say we was called over at the 6 cell house and found a whole bunch of weed butts all over the floor. They'll shake the whole prison down. See, that shit pisses me off, right? See, because when we find out who do it, you got to leave it. You done damage that. Like, you got a business, you might have knives, or you might have a lot of shit in your cell. You got stuff in your cell, contraband. So, we ask people around us, don't get us shut down, bro. You know, then motherfucker buy weed from me and then gonna throw the butt on the floor. Now, when them guards find that shit and go up front with it, all they need is a roach.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna get all them guards shut the prison down. They gonna go through every cell. And they gonna bust, and then everybody got their shit took. Because at one time I was selling, you know, when we had PlayStation, they got a recycling plant they built in there. And so they was recycling these CDs, XXX rated. So I had to do the smuggling. Cause when we bring the food off the yard back there to them to eat. Everybody that work back in the back. And then we come pick up the slop barrels and take them to the slop dock. You know, I told dude to put it rock in it, tie it in, you know, good. And I have a stick with a little hook on it and pick it out of there. And so I was selling them CDs, right? You know, and you sell them $50 a night, right? Easy. You know, here, $50 a night, bro. Hey, Fleece. Hey, man, I like that CD, man. You want? No, I won't sell it, bro. I like it, too. I said, you done had it last night. You want it for another night? He said, man, I want it for the whole week, so we'll calculate it up. They start giving names to the girls now. So if somebody do something and have all that stuff taken, well, you got a lot of people mad at you. And you're going to have a lot of weapons in your cell, right? And they caught you. You can just get you some weed off the visit, you know, and they shake down. Then you find out this sucker, where it came from, you're going to whoop him. We had to go through that, just like with our food. We had a Westland Farm Center. They growed our own food. All our meats, everything came from one. Eggs. And then them inmates out there was betting on who could knock the cow out and how many licks, right? They bring a cow out. They got, are you, like me, John? I say, hey, bro, that's a big arm, dog. How many licks you think you set him down?
What I tell you about saying my real name?
Okay, Big Lee.
Thank you.
You got big arms, bro. You might say 15. So everybody's betting big money. I said, what do you want to bet? 200? Make it 1,000. You want to make it 2,000. So he come out, pop that thing all in the head and the eye, whether you knock it down or not. The next day, the guards got everybody lined up. I want to see hands, front and back, front and back. See who hit this cow. They bring the cow out, eyes black, big old lip, it come out like that. And don't nobody say nothing. They look at hands. He said, who hit you, baby? Who hit you? Let that rope go. That thing, everything missing muscle. It'll walk, stop.
And who hit him?
Walk, stop, come back, then walk again, then walk right over him and bump the one that hit him. Them guards be on him like flies on shit. Get on the ground, get on the ground. You hit Daisy, boy.
So y'all had cow that was a snitch.
Yeah, snitching cows. But when they come to prison, when they come to the hole, the guard done already told us. I'm bringing a couple of them in there like to beat the cows and bringing 2 of them in there was caught fucking them and all that stuff, right? So I said, put them on our walk, man. We need some entertainment. So when they come on the walk, don't nobody say nothing until they let us out. But we come out throwing, you hear me?
Y'all beat them up?
Yeah, we eat that shit. How you gonna mess with our food, man? It's just like when they start putting sissies in the kitchen. I said, what you got kitchen lights on for? I Fleece, I'm working in the kitchen. I said, you a goddamn lie. Cause I already know what type of sissy he is. And that motherfucker eat ass, all this shit, right? You ain't fucking with my food, nobody else's food. I said, bro, show us some respect, man. Don't go on, Fleece, I don't do it. Nigga, we know what you are, man. I said, you ain't gonna quit? He said, yeah, I'll quit. Cause you know, if you don't, I'm gonna get you out of there. All it takes is one fight to take your job, right? So them people that work out there with auto mechanics and shit, that's like Ford and GE out there. They think they special, you know. They look at us like we West End ghetto, you know. Yeah, I work for a living. I said, yeah, man, how long you been back here? I've been back here about 3.5 years, Fleece. They are top lead man now. I said, all right, bro. I said, hey, can you bring me some of that glue out there? I got somebody to get it. No, we don't do no stealing out there, Fleece. I said, I just want to enjoy Jetson ass niggas, right? I said, look, man, I need something out of there because it's for a real special purpose. They said, you got to go through you to get it. He said, look, man, this is all I got, man. This is all I got, Fleece. I'm going to have to report you. The nigga reported me. I said, okay. They said, stop asking for goddamn stuff out there, Fleece Johnson. We don't want to lock you up. I said, okay. Nigga told on me for real. I said, now let me show you who I am. I said, hey, my little buddy over in the hole needs some weed over. You take him, I'll give you a box of cigarettes. I want you to make a run, hit this motherfucker. Take his goddamn job, Mr. Tuffhead. Went down there and banged him. And when he got out of the hole, they didn't even give his job back. Told him he had to wait 6 months. That's how we deal with motherfuckers in there.
I got one more question, Fleece, before we get out of here today.
Yeah.
This question actually came from somebody in the comments. You fell in love with a man in that, right?
Yeah.
You know, you fall in love with somebody. If you run into him again, it's a certain feeling you might get.
No, let me tell you something.
You didn't let me ask the question.
You don't need, I'm going to answer it for you ask and answer. Hell no.
No. What would you do? You think you would get that
I won't
feeling?
feel nothing. The only thing I feel is get away from me.
How you know?
Nah, I done ran into him.
The man you was in love with, you done ran into.
Not that. But I done ran into people. Like I knew a gay dude. He was sitting in a nail shop, and these girls in there was fans.
He was sitting in there.
Yeah, he can't get his nails done. He thinks he's a girl, right? And he said, "Please." Some say run, some say, nah, I'm too real for that, right? I said, what's up? And them girls was looking like, oh, holla. And I said, what's up? He said, how you doing? I hugged him and everything. Went in there, sat down, talked to him. Motherfucker, I'm not gonna stop being your friend just because some nappy head bitches in here. I don't know these motherfuckers, and who are they? I'm real with me. You know, if I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you. If I ran across somebody that I was like the one I married, no, man.
You was in love with the one you married?
I married him. Hell yeah.
Y'all have a good day. Peace.